So guys, obviously every editing program has its own FX library, but lots of you may be stuck on the dissolve or the basic effects that are on common use while editing. The great thing about DaVinci Resolve is that it has lots of handy presets on the edit and on the color part that will help you elevating your image to another level. By watching them, I have to press to FX library, and then I want to deselect the media pool, and you have with this toolbox everything you need there, but you may be focused just on this video transition, and obviously video transition can be applied just by dragging them or by pressing with a double click, having an image selected, and these are all my transition. But the biggest part, the different part from other editing programs, that you have something like internal effects, really handy effects, and internal generators. Generators are like the grayscale or the EBU color bar, all those things that are really handy when you have to understand how color is working on an image, and you can just generate them from there. You have different things like window, solid color, whatever. And by the way, on FX you also have the adjustment clip. You may be comfortable if you come from Premiere or from After Effects if you want to adjust the color of your clip directly from that one. I'm not comfortable with this, by the way, and I'm gonna delete it. And on OpenFX we have tons of great effects that are gonna help us improving our image in a great way. Some of them may be used during the color grading section. Some of them may be applied to the image initial part. One of the things that I usually do on some stylized shot like this one, it's maybe go into my Resolve FX Lite, and we have like the lens flare or the lens reflections that are great, and I think that these are okay even applied on that section. Look at that. It's generating in real time a lens reflection. And you may want to grade something that comes from a timeline made in that way. And by the way, when you are adding FX, you just have to press on the clip and go into OpenFX right there. And you can customize it as you wish. You have all those presets. And that's great to have all those things internal to DaVinci Resolve. May want to say the glint, super acid. You can also customize where it comes from, the brightness, defocus. You have lots of things there, and that's great. You have also reflection, lens flare. We're going to talk about that later. You can use the color palette. I use this a lot if you have to talk with other departments that need the color that you're generating with your clips. If they need them to know the mood, if you want to import also few clips or few stills from another movie and just drag the color palette up to see where the look is playing the most. You may want to go into Resolve Color, and the great thing is that this part of the OpenFX or transition or whatever are organized in filters. You start from the blur, going to color, the generators, to light, to refine, to revival, sharpen, stylize. So everything you need is right there. And you may want to know that some of this, like I said, the lens refraction, are cool to be used on the edit part, and some other might be used on the color part because you want to edit or add them during the color grading. But yeah, what you want to do there is just playing with there and watch how they affect your image, like the blur. I usually use a lot the blur during the color grade. Maybe I want to add some depth of field, so I can add this to one of my node in the color section and use it just on one part of the image. We can, for whatever reason, change the aces, change our color space to aces just by using this little tool. Yeah, you have lots of stuff there, and lots of people that use Resolve doesn't know that, but you have a really big library of effects that maybe you're paying to have some of them on another program, and there all of them are free. And personally, some of these are really game changer. Just look at that lens flare or the glow. I use the glow a lot. The glow will crank, some part of the timeline in a really great way. Just look at that image. Just look, if I push the threshold down and play a bit with the spread, and I crank down the brightness. Just look at that. Just with one internal preset. Look at that. I love it. So you may want to know that all this little part, when you see the effect library or the media pool or whatever on other part of your program, you know that everything that sits there will be in the exact same way on the other page. So if I'm seeing all these open effects, there will be exactly the same on the color part. Obviously we won't see the transition because we don't need transition while color grading, but yeah, you can decide when to use them. So just take a quick look to all of them. Personally, I use a lot the Resolve FX color for more of a practical thing. Maybe I need the DAs sometime, or the color compressor for the grass. We're gonna see that on memory color for the greens, or even for your skin tones. You want to use the color stabilizer too, the contrast pop. These are all super handy. Also the light part and the FX generate, if you want to I don't know, use a grid for VFX guy, if you want to generate the palette, or color generator if you want to, or you need color layer. Everything you need is there. You just have to test some of them. Also the grain, another great thing, the camera shake, everything is there, and you just have to test it and know how all of them work, because sometimes they can really change the game of your timeline. They can really help you out, and these obviously are super accurate, and these are really different from the standard video transition or all that classic stuff that you can find on every editing program.